Hey guys, Lawrence Lodge here and welcome to the Man Cave. Today I'm going to talk to you about micro versus macro influencers and how the micro influencers are more important to your brand than the macro. So let's first take a step back and understand the difference between a micro influence and a macro influencer. On Instagram, normally a micro influencer is someone that is under 100,000 followers, and usually in the last couple of years it's been more closer to someone that's sort of in the 20,000 to 50,000 followers. So obviously a macro influencer would be anyone over 100,000 followers. And also a few years ago, those are the people that really actually had the blue ticks. But unfortunately at the moment, the blue ticks mean shit on today's social media because you can buy it and you can see accounts with 5,000 to 10,000 followers and they have a blue tick. So it actually holds no weight. But now that we know that micro influencers are people on Instagram with under 100,000 followers all the way down to even 1,000 followers, and a macro influencer is someone over 100,000. Now, most people would think that they would love to have their brand posted, spoken about, or shared about by all the macro influencers, by someone like Beyonce, Justin Bieber, Kylie Jenner, Gary Vee. Yes, that'll reach so much more people. But what you don't understand about Instagram and the reach and the engagement that these channels get is, as you get more followers on Instagram, statistically, your engagement level will drop. So what does that mean? That means your likes and comments will reduce by the percentage of the people that you go up with on your following. So just for an example, Gary Vee currently only gets 1.6% engagement of his following. So that means means less than 2% of everyone that follows Gary Vee is engaging with his posts. Kylie Jenner, one of the biggest names on Instagram and social media, gets 4.57%. She would be the highest out of all the macro influencers with the biggest pages out there. But what you don't realize is that anyone that's between 1,000 to 5,000 followers, statistically on the average, is achieving a 5.6% engagement. So they're achieving almost 50% or 100% more engagement on a smaller page than the bigger players do on the bigger page. Now, why do you say that is important? You're going to say, well, Lawrence, the person with 1,000 followers, the person with 5,000 followers has only got 5,000 followers. The macro influencer's got 2 to 4 million. But let me ask you this question. How easily can you communicate, message, get feedback, or even get a response from a macro influencer? I'll take a bet for you. You go and message Justin Bieber and how many times he'll respond to you. But you go and message a person that's got 1,000, 2,000 or 3,000 followers on Instagram and has a 4 to 6% engagement. And the likelihood is more than 50% will give you a response. So now here's the understanding of why these micro influencers are more important to you than the macro for your brand. Because as you're messaging the micro influencers, you'll get a high percentage of them coming back to you and being able to communicate with them. You got a high percent of them being able to build up a relationship between their brand and your brand. And at the end of the day, you likely have a high percentage that they will either A, do a shout out, do a post about your product, or it costs you a lot less for them to do a promotion post about a product. And you get a higher percent of engagement per percentage. Imagine what you're going to pay if you went for a macro influencer. I know that Kylie Jenner, I think, is $300,000 to $500,000 a post. But why don't you go to someone that's got 2,000 followers and get 20 of those accounts with 100% higher engagement, and you go to their brand and let them shout you out? Let's just give us a basic example from a numbers point of view. I go to pages got 5,000 followers and they're in the micro and the low section. So they're averaging around 5.6% engagement. That means for that follower of 5,000, that account with 5,000 followers gets 280 engagements per video. That's likes, comments. That's not just impressions. That's actual engagements on that page. Now let's go to someone that's got 20,000 followers. Statistically, their engagement is only 2.43%. So they are only getting 486 engagements on their 20,000 followers, which means your 5,000 follower, which is 25% of a smaller channel, is still getting 57% the amount of engagement that the channel has with 20,000 followers. So it is so much easier to grow your brand with the small players than the big players. Go to the small brands, go to the small channels. It's easier for you to reach them, and they'll likely go back and build up a relationship to help your brand grow and you get better engagement than you reaching out to some of the big names, the blue ticks that will never come back to you, and you would have to pay way too much to grow your brand. So just think about that next time you're about to send a message to all these really cool people and you wish that they'll respond to you. Go to 20 people with less than 5,000 followers that have a brand that meets your niche. Reach out to them, build a relationship, and you won't be mistaken when they do a post about your brand. But anyway, if there's anything else you'd like to know about social media, building a brand on Instagram, let me know and I'll do another video. But at the end of the day, have a beautiful and powerful day.